Okay, so good day everyone. Today we're going to discuss about the technology integration in teaching, transforming the learning experience. No? Technology integration in teaching refers to the effective use of digital tools, software, and online resources to enhance learning experiences. And this goes beyond just using computers in classrooms. It involves strategically embedding technology to support teaching methodologies, engagement, and student outcomes. So from learning management system to artificial intelligence-driven assessments, technology is reshaping traditional education into a more interactive and personalized experience. Now, one of the major benefits of integrating technology in education is the improvement in student engagement. Now, digital tools such as interactive whiteboards, virtual reality, and gamified learning platforms help create a more dynamic learning environment. Instead of relying solely on lectures, teachers now can use multimedia content, simulations, and collaborative tools to make learning more immersive and participatory. And to give us more details about the topic, let us all welcome our presenter this morning. Go ahead, sir.
Thank you po, Doc Melo. So, good morning po, classmates. So, today, we will discuss or total discuss about the technology integration and teaching. So, transforming the learning experience. Okay, so we all know that the technology is malaki po yung naging impact nito sa atin sa pagpasok po niya, no? So, unlike po dati nung tayo po is nag-aaral, is as masasabi natin na we use the traditional way of teaching na kung saan tayo po isa sa classroom at ang mga teachers po is nagtuturo na kung saan we use blackboard, the traditional chalk or let's say whiteboard marker na kung saan naiba na po siya ngayon ano o na kumbaga iba na po yung interest sa kabataan, the way on how they learn. Then also nasubok po tayo, especially ng pandemic, na kung saan nakita po natin ang impact ng technology when it comes to delivering education. Napakalaking bagay po ng teknolohiya sa ating present time when it comes to education. When it comes to education. So today, we will discuss the tools and then the strategy when it comes to delivering education by the use of technology. Okay, so first, let's discuss about the importance of technology integration. So, paggaano nga ba kahalaga sa panahon ngayon? 'Di ba sabi nga natin, iba sila dati, ay iba tayo dati at bago na sila ngayon, no? Na kung saan ang mga kabataan is iba ng interest when it comes to learning or iba na rin ang kanilang interest sa kanilang mga ginagawa. So, ito po yung mga importance of technology, integration of technology when it comes to education system. So number one po, it enhances students' engagement and motivation. So just like what I have said, na iba na po ang interes ng mga kabataan. So yung dati nating ginagawa na traditional way of teaching is they find that as let's say boring po ano because wala doon yung interest nila. Unlike po when we use technology na talagang gusto nila at i-utilize nila now is I think mailalapit natin yung pagkagustuhan nila or motivation nila when it comes to learning. So it enhances student engagement and motivation. Number two is provides access to a wealth of resources and information. We all know that the internet is napaka lawak po na kung saan lahat ng bagay, everything under the sun, is makikita mo na sa internet. Especially by the coming of AI or artificial intelligence na which is binago niya yung binago niya yung way of pagkakakuha ng mga bata natin ng kaalaman. Not just only student but as teacher, no? Na napakarami na pong mga resources sa internet na kung saan makakakuha tayo ng knowledge or information but it's up to us kung paano natin siya i-deliver at paano natin siya i-utilize, no? Number three is facilitates personalized learning experience. So, we don't use traditional way of teaching na kung saan yun nga, no? 'Di ba sabi nga nila, hindi lahat ng bata is sabay-sabay na or I mean pare-pareho ng pagkakatuto sa ating mga pinag-aaralan. May mga bata po na iba po ang way ng kanilang kagustuhan sa pagkakatuto, no? So that's why ang paggamit po ng technology is it makes the education or I mean ginagawa nito na flexible ang ating way ng pagtuturo or pagkakatuto ng kabataan, no? Or personalization of learning experience. Number four is develops 21st century skill na which is very critical po ano. Or I mean napapanahon po ito na kailangan matutunan ng mga bata. O di ba nga po yung K-12 curriculum natin, it or I mean dito po hina-highlight yung pagkakatuto dapat ng mga kabataan when it comes to 21st century skill. So, number one dito is critical thinking. So, hindi na po ang teacher is sage on the stage, but they are or we are the guide on the side of the student. Kasi hindi po pwede na teacher-centered po ang ating pagtuturo. Dapat po ang mga bata mismo is na-engage sa kanilang pagkakatuto. And another thing is collaboration, no? And then lastly we have communication, no? Then lastly we have it prepares students for a technology-driven world. So nagbabago po ang panahon, nagbabago ang mga trends and technology. So hindi po pwede na mahuli tayo or hindi po pwede na stagnant tayo doon sa ating nalalaman na ngayon. Kailangan natin sumabay sa takbo po ng teknolohiya at takbo ng sistema ng ating panahon. Okay? So, yun po. Digital tools. So we have what we call the digital tools or mga applications or mga strategy na kung saan pwede natin siyang i-enhance or i-utilize when it comes to delivering our materials or education. No? So we can enhance the or we can utilize all the technology available na kung saan mas madali po. We can say na mas madali po ang pagde-deliver ng education. For example, no, yung mga online learning. So hindi mo na or hindi na kailangan pumunta ng bata sa eskwelahan personally para po mag-aral kung saan we can utilize technology uh, na kung saan nasa bahay lang sila. Okay? So technology tools can be used to increase students' participation, increase creative output, and to give the teacher more data about student progress. So what we can see here on our screen is napakaraming mga technological tools or classroom instruction tools na we can utilize sa ating pagtuturo. So as a teacher po, hindi tayo pwedeng mahuli sa trends, no? Kasi baka hindi po pwede na mas marunong pa yung mga bata sa pag-utilize ng technology kumpara sa ating mga teacher. Kailangan po lagi tayong ahead sa kanila, no? So napakalaking bagay din po as a teacher or as an educator na dapat po tayo ay marunong tayong gumamit ng mga tools at application na kung saan malaki pong bagay ito sa ating pagde-deliver ng ating tinuturong lesson. Okay? So, an example of this is the interactive whiteboards and presentation software. Ito po, gamit na gamit po ito natin, ng ating mga educator, ano? Especially yung presentation software. Okay? So, and then also we have interactive whiteboards na kung saan sabihin na natin, no, na hindi po lahat ng mga eskwelahan, sorry for my hindi po lahat ng mga eskwelahan is kaya itong i-provide. Especially mga public school kasi alam nyo na medyo mahal po ang mga facilities or technology used when it comes to delivering when it comes to utilizing these interactive whiteboards. So, what is interactive whiteboards? So it offers kinesthetic learners the chance to be hands-on and engage in physically with task and learning materials. So when we say kinesthetic, so they can or pwede nilang hawakan ito at pwede nila itong i-utilize at immobilize or I mean pwede nila itong what do you call that? Pwede nilang or they have the chance to be hands-on and engage physically. So with task and learning materials. The displays do this by enabling student to touch. So sabi nga, move and manipulate object on the screen. So normally po ito ng mga tablets at saka yung mga malaking touch screen sa mga classroom na kung saan interactive siya na pwede po ang mga estudyante ay pwede lang hawakan or i-move yung mga icons na kung saan I think malaking bagay po ito no sa kanilang pagkakatuto. Kasi nga 'di ba nga sa philosophy of John Dewey, learning by doing, na kung saan hindi na lang po teacher ang nagpa-facilitate but also ang estudyante po isa tututunan po nila ito by themselves. Okay? So yun nga, no? By enabling student to touch, move, the manipulate object on the screen, providing a tactile experience that enhance kinesthetic learners' experiences. Okay, so this is an example of what we have here on our screen is an example of interactive whiteboards, no? Na kung saan, as we can see, ito po is applicable or mas maganda po itong i-apply sa mga grade school. Or I mean yung mga bata po na nasa grade school level kasi po alam naman natin na mga bata ngayon is visual learner, no? Na kung saan this is or I mean dito bine-develop yung foundation of learning sa ganitong mga ages, yung let's say elementary students, no? Or mga preschool or kindergarten students. So this is very applicable for them. So as we can see, yung bata po or yung estudyante is nagsusulat po siya sa touchscreen na what do you call that? Interactive whiteboard, ano? So hindi na lang po sa papel or anything but the student can present, no? So interactive whiteboard, it enhance visual learning and interactive lesson. So as we can say, yun nga, no? Visual learner po ang karamihan sa mga kabataan ngayon. So kailangan nila makita ito para matuto sila. Kasi yung imagination, I mean, yun nga lang po ang problema nga lang kasi is yung imagination ng mga kabataan nowadays is sabihin na natin na unlike sa atin dati na talagang nabawasan yung imagination because yan nakikita na nila yung kanilang ano, so enhanced visual or visual, no? So example of this is smart boards and then Promethean board. So, ang gamit po nito is collaborative problem solving, interactive games, and then multimedia presentation. So, hindi lang po sa mga elementary level or high school students, but we also the college students and then also we as professional. So, pag may mga meetings tayo or meron tayong mga collaborative work or projects, is we can also use the whiteboards, no? Para sabay-sabay tayong nakakapagbigay tayo ng ating mga uh, ideas, no? So, yun po. Another one is a presentation software. So, ito po, very utilized or na-utilize to natin, especially mga teachers, no? When you say presentation software, it is a computer software package used to show information normally in a form of slideshow, no? It mostly includes three major functions. So, ito po yung mga function ng presentation software. Number one is an editor that allows text to be inserted and formatted. Another thing is a method for inserting and manipulating graphic image. And lastly is we have slideshow system to display the content. So ito po yung mga example ng presentation software. We have, alam naman natin, I think familiar tayo dito, the PowerPoint, no? Microsoft PowerPoint na kung saan uh, majority of the teachers is ito po ang ginagamit, no? Because this is accessible. And then sabihin na natin na sa mga laptop or I mean madali siyang i-install, no? Or madali siyang i-utilize, no? So the PowerPoint or the Microsoft PowerPoint, the Google Slides, and then also yan, yung Canva. So yung Canva personally hindi ko pa siya natatry. But yung mga editing is yan, nakakapag ano ako. Pero when it comes to presentation, di pa ako nakakapag ano. Then also what we have here is Prezi. So yan po, yung mga presentation software. So ang presentation software daw po, it create engaging and dynamic presentation. Kasi 'di ba as we have said, na mga bata po ngayon or ang mga estudyante is a visual learner na po sila ngayon. Kailangan nakikita nila yung mga bagay na iyong tinuturo para sila ay ma-motivate at maging engaging po yung ating pagtuturo. So, ang uses po ng mga presentation software like PowerPoint, Google Slide, Canva, and Prezi is to delivering lectures. So, yun po yung main function niya or main use niya, no? Another thing is showcasing student work, creating multimedia projects. So when you say multimedia, from the word multi, so pwedeng may yun, visually makikita mo siya and then may mga sounds or mga text or may mga voices. So marami pong ano po ito. No? So that is the presentation softwares na pwede natin gamitin when it comes to delivering our teaching or lesson. Another thing is online and collaboration and communication. So kahit hindi kayo nagkikita-kita, for example, or kunyari may mga teams kayo or meron kayong groupings sa inyong classroom, is kahit hindi po kayo nagkikita-kita personally or in person, is pwede kayo, kunyari nasa bahay lang kayo, pwede kayong mag-collaboration or gumawa na sabay-sabay by using this online collaboration and communication software. So let's define online collaboration and communications tool. So these are digital platforms that enable students and teachers to interact, share information, and work together effectively regardless of physical location. So for example, kahit nasa Amerika ka, nasa Singapore ka, at yung mga kagrupo mo isa sa Pilipinas, but still you can interact or you can share information or you can collaborate with your team when it comes to doing projects or yun, mga project ninyo. Dahil nga po may mga available tayong software or the online collaboration software na available. These tools are crucial in modern classrooms, especially with the rise of remote and hybrid learning. So later on, we will talk about hybrid learning. So when we say remote and hybrid learning po, kaya niya, kahit magkakalayo kayo, kahit hindi kayo magkakasama, but still you can share or collaborate by using or utilizing this software na available po. So what we have here is some example of online collaborative software or application. So we have Google Docs. So I think ito very ano to no. Itong Google Docs na to. Sa amin po sa World City Quezon City, very utilized to, especially pag yun, submission ng TOS, ng mga examination at saka ng COCG. So yung amin pong coordinator when it comes to mga files ng mga teachers is gumagawa siya ng Google Docs na kung saan doon po sinasabit ng mga teachers yung kanilang mga output. Na kung saan ako po as the ano po head of the department is I will check na lang kung ano ba yung mga sinabit nila. Then I can comment on their ano or doon ako magko-comment sa kanilang mga gawa, no? Then after that, well, we have Microsoft Teams and then Padlets na ayan, yan yung mga example ng mga software na or online collaborative tools na we can use. So it facilitates group project and peer learning, no? So ano po ba ang gamit ng online collaborative tools? So number one is collaborative writing. So we can edit the ano no common project. We can edit that ng sabay-sabay. At yan, shared brainstorming. We can share our ideas, no? And then virtual group discussion. So, yan po yung mga online collaborative tools na available po para sa atin. Or hindi lang sa or hindi lang sa atin, but also sa mga estudyante, no? So, as a teacher, kailangan din po is familiar tayo rito or aware tayo sa software na to. Kasi po, malaking bagay po ito. Hindi lang po sa pag-lesson po ng usage of time, then also mas madali po or mas mabilis ang ating collaboration na hindi po tayo nagkikita-kita personally. Okay? Next is also we have communication tools or software or application. So it improves communication between teachers, students, and parent. No? So example of this, the email, the messaging app like Messenger, mga WhatsApp, no? Then also video conferencing, yung mga Zoom. Okay, so ang gamit po nito is parent-teacher conferences. Unlike our traditional way of a PTA meeting na nagkikita-kita pa. Actually, one time po sa aming school sa World City is na-try na po namin, nag-online PTA kami, PTA meeting. Which is, I think, successful naman siya. But ang problema, I mean, ang na-encounter lang namin problema rito is yung, syempre, alam naman natin, na yung ibang mga parents is medyo may edad na medyo hindi na po marunong mag-utilize ng technology or ano. So, yung mga ganun pong ano is yun, nagbigay na lang kami ng mga ng ano, minutes of the meeting. Pero I mean, I can say na nung gumamit kami ng application na for online PTA is I think naging okay naman siya kasi po may mga parent din na nasa abroad, yung iba isa sa trabaho na hindi kaya pumunta personally sa school. So, I think malaking bagay din po yung ginampanan ng mga communication tools na to or yung mga online conference or online video conferencing tool like Zoom, no? Yun ang amin utilize. But ang problema lang po dito or nakikita po nating negative side is yun nga, no? Yung may mga parent po or may mga magulang na hindi po familiar sa paggamit nito dahil nga yun, may edad na sila or I mean, hindi nila na-utilize to. Then also quick student question. So, yan po ang gamit ng mga communication tools na malaking bagay po, especially sa ating mga educator. Next we have educational application and online resources. So, educational application and online resources are digital tools designed to facilitate and enhance learning. They leverage technology to make education more accessible, engaging, and personalized. So, ito po mga educational application, as I have said, ang mga kabataan ngayon, especially mga nasa elementary years o yung mga batang nasa elementary level, is mahilig yan sa mga laro or mahilig yan sa online games, no? So that's why I think ito yung isa sa pinakamagandang way ng ating pagtuturo na aside from nagtuturo tayo but still ang mga bata ay naglalaro din. Hindi lang puro, I mean hindi siya traditional, ano? Na way of delivering our activities, our lesson. So, what we have here is the educational application and online resources na kung saan dapat po tayo po mga teachers ay aware dito. Kasi nga po, iba na po ang takbo ng kagusto ng mga bata or iba na po ang kanilang gusto sa when it comes to ano. Because ito po mga application na to is accessible, then engaging po, no? And then we can personalize our activities and resources. So ito po yung mga example of educational application like Kahoot. I think iba sa inyo is nakagamit na po ng Kahoot. So ang Kahoot po is ito po ay we can assign activity here na kung saan yon mga palaro sa mga estudyante na yon yung engagement ng mga bata is talagang nandun kasi nga engaging siya. Then also we have Duolingo. So ang Duolingo naman po normal ginagamit to sa grammar or sa ano sa communication. Then also the Khan Academy. Ang Khan Academy naman po is this is a free software na we can use sa ating delivery. So educational apps, it provides interactive learning experience and gamified content. So when you say gamified content, para tayo naglalaro, I mean, yung mga activity rito is not just activity na traditional but uh, ito ay more engaging po ito. Okay, because we use game or I mean naglalaro ang mga bata and then still natututo sila. So ang uses po ito is skill practice, review games, and then personalized learning. So I think itong mga ganitong application at ang ganitong mga tools is applicable po sa especially sa mga kabataan ngayon na very exposed na po sa mga games at saka technology application sa ngayon. So, I think doon natin sila makukuha sa ganitong mga application, no? Next is we have online resources. So, hindi lang po ito tulong sa mga estudyante, but also tulong din po, malaking tulong din po ito sa ating mga educators, no? So, access to vast libraries of information and multimedia content. So, di ba nga po ngayon is meron na tayong AI. In just one type or in just one click is makukuha mo na lahat ng information na gusto mong makuha. At very comprehensive. But it depends kung paano mo siya di ba? Yun nga, magta-type mo lang yung gustong malaman or kung may tanong ka kay AI. So on my case I utilize Google Gemini. Pero syempre hindi naman po pwede na lahat is iaasa mo na kay AI. Kasi syempre iba pa rin iba pa rin tayong mga humans. So ang ginagawa ko po, yes I use AI. So ang ginagawa ko po for example, I need to submit an essay. So, ang ginagawa ko po, syempre, magsusulat ako ng essay. Then, after that, isasalang ko kay AI para kung may mga correction siya or may mga mali sa grammar ko or kung may dadagdag siya. So, yun. Then after that, isasalang ko sa Grammarly para talagang sure na okay yung gawa ko. Okay? But syempre, hindi naman po pwede na lahat na lang ng tinanong mo or lahat ng activity or I mean lahat ng kailangan mong sa lesson mo is kukunin mo kay AI which is not. Kasi po, si AI po ay robot, no? Hindi po siya perfect. Kung minsan nag-hallucinate yan si AI. So, dapat po, tayo pa rin ang gumagawa. And then also, kumbaga, yes, we can utilize technology, pero dapat po tayo pa rin ang gumagawa. No? Kasi kung minsan nga po may mali rin yung mga online resources na yan. So, ang online resources po is access to vast libraries of information and multimedia content. So, example of this is online encyclopedia, digital libraries, and educational website. So, yan, yung Wikipedia po, malaking tulong po ito sa atin. So, di ba sabi nga nila dati, pag hindi mo alam ang isang bagay, i-Google mo or i-Wikipedia mo, no? Kasi, yan, lahat po ng mga information or lahat ng bagay na gusto natin malaman is na andyan na. Yun nga, yung sa AI nga, hindi mo na kailangan mag-Wikipedia ngayon, ano? All you need to do is to type your query or your gusto mo malamang information. And then si AI na po ang bahalang maghanap sa mga library like kay Wikipedia. And then papakita ka sa iyo yun at babasahin mo. So, yun po. So, ang mga gamit po nito is for research. So, mahalaga po ito no, sa mga nagre-research, sa mga kabataan, then also sa ating mga teachers. Then also supplemental learning, and then accessing primary resource or sources. So, yan po, no, yung mga example po ng online resources or encyclopedia, yan, yung Wikipedia, and then digital library. So, unlike dati, nung unang tayo po, nung nag-aaral pa tayo, naabutan ko pa po yun eh. Yung isang malaking cabinet na may mga volume yung encyclopedia, na ganun kadami. Ang problema lang po kasi sa ganun is hindi po nag-update yung information. Kasi nagbabago nga ang panahon eh. Nagbabago ang mga nangyayari sa paligid natin. So that's why hindi po siya na-update. Kung ano yung version niya, yun na yun. I mean, affix na siya. Unlike po now na we have online resources like yung mga Wikipedia, yung digital library na kung saan on time po na nag-update po yung mga information na nilalaman niya na kung saan available po siya online. Yun nga, mas madali siya at saka mas accessible for us, no? So as a teacher po or as an educator, kailangan po is marunong tayong mag-utilize ng mga online resources when it comes to conducting research, searching for supplemental learning, and then accessing primary sources. Okay? So nextly, we have one of the impact po or I mean uh, isa po sa kagandahan ng pagpasok ng teknolohiya sa ating edukasyon is yung paggamit po ng blended learning and flipped classroom models. So ito po, nagamit po natin ito especially nung pandemic, no? So for a while. So sorry for interruption. So ito po, yung blended learning po and flipped classroom models is malaki po ang bagay na ginampanan nito, especially nung pandemya, no? Kasi nga po, yun, hindi pwedeng lumabas at kailangan po isa sa bahay lang. So, nagamit po natin ito, yung online class, no? So, I think marami po mga teachers ang umayaw sa education dati nung pagpasok ng pandemya na nagkaroon ng online class. Especially yung mga may edad na ayaw sa teknolohiya. Pero hindi mo po pwedeng ayaw natin as a teacher na ayaw natin sa teknolohiya. Especially yung mga online class, yung mga online platform na mahirap daw i-utilize pero hindi po. As a teacher, kailangan natin maging adaptive sa ating mga nangyayari sa paligid natin. No? Kung paano natin i-deliver ang ating klase or ang ating lesson. Kailangan we know how to utilize the technology when it comes to delivery of learning. So one of this, yun nga, yung blended learning na very flexible po siya sa pagde-deliver ng ating klase. No? Ang blended learning po is an educational approach that combines online educational materials and opportunities for interaction online with traditional place-based classroom method. So ito po nung transition na po. Nung medyo maluwag na yung pandemic or maluwag na yung paglabas-labas ng bahay dati is sa amin po sa Quezon City campus ng World City is we utilize blended form of learning na kung saan for example ang mga estudyante is papasok 2 days on site and then 3 days online, which is I think okay din po, or I mean successful din po ang implementation natin nito kasi po ang mga bata is kunyari ngayong araw is may face to face tayo. So today ang discussion na mga ginawa din natin online or ang mga activity na ginawa natin kung tayo ay asynchronous class pa. So kumbaga when we say blended learning po, pinagsama siya na traditional way, yun nga, yung on-site or face-to-face. And then another thing is yung online class, no? So that is blended learning. Another one is we have flipped classroom. So when we say flipped classroom naman po, model inverts the traditional learning approach. Students are introduced to new content outside of the classroom, typically through video lecture or readings. In class time is then used for active learning activities such as discussion, problem solving, and collaborative projects. So when we say flipped classroom naman po, from the word flip, no? Uh, ang sistema po nito naman is bibigyan ni teacher or bibigyan ni teacher ng mga resources si bata. For example, panoorin mo tong video ito, I will give you a link. Panoorin mo tong video ito. Then after that, after mo mapanood si video, is saka natin i-discuss yung inyong napanood. And then for example, magbibigay si teacher halimbawa ng activity or magbibigay si teacher ng task. So, si bata, hindi mo na ituturo ni teacher yan. Si bata is pag-aaralan niya yan at magsisearch siya about niya sa ano. Then after that, after niyang makapag-search at after niya magawa yung task ni teacher, isa tsaka po siya i-discuss teacher on-site or face-to-face. So, it means na learning by doing din po, no? Or I mean, pinapabayaan natin si student na ma-explore niya muna yung lesson before po ituro ni teacher. And then I think this type of learning is effective din kasi nga 'di ba? The best way to learn or I mean ang pinaka ano po dito is ma-expose po muna tayo sa ating pag-aaralan. Kumbaga tayo mismo sa ating mga estudyante is matututo muna sila before natin sila i-discuss because the teacher is just a guide on the side nowadays. Now, hindi po pwedeng mag-spoon feed tayo sa mga bata. Kailangan sila mismo natututunan nila yung kanilang pinag-aaralan. Kasi syempre, alam niyo yung estudyanteng kabisote lang na kung ano yung tinuro natin, yun lang ang napapasok sa isip nila. Unlike po dito sa flip classroom na kung saan sila mismo by themselves na natututo sila sa kanilang ginagawa. No? At teacher po is ginaguide na lang sila sa kanilang mga learnings or yun. So yan po ang mga modalities of learning, the blended learning and then the flipped classroom mode. Okay? So these are the benefits of blended learning, ano? So number one po, it increase flexibility. So learners can access materials and learn at their own pace. Kasi sabi nga nila, hindi po one size fits all na kung saan nagturo si teacher. Hindi natin alam kung lahat ng mga yan sa natututo. Yung iba dyan is may kanya-kanyang paraan ng pagkakatuto. So, yung iba is gusto nila is nagsi-self-study. Iba naman is gusto ay or si teacher mismo is nagtuturo. But we give our student a chance na matuto na sa kanila. With the guide, with our bilang, or I mean, na tayo po is gina-guide sila. Next is we have enhanced engagement. Combining online and in-person activities can make learning more interactive. Then personalized learning, it allows for tailored learning experience to meet individual needs. Okay? Especially, for example, yung mga SPED teachers, ano, iba-iba po ang mga needs ng mga batang nasa SPED. So that's why the teacher can adjust, no? Then another thing is improved access. It can broaden access to education for those with geographical or time constraint. Yun nga po, for example, yung mga bata na malalayo ang bahay, yung mga nasa bundok for example, or yung hindi kaya pumunta sa eskwelahan na personally is by the coming of blended learning or online education is malaki po ang ginampanan nitong bagay sa atin. Then we have development of digital skills. It helps learner become proficient in using technology. So, yun nga po teachers, no? As a teacher po, hindi po pwedeng mas magaling pa ang mga bata sa atin sa paggamit or pag-utilize ng technology. So, that's why dapat po tayo po mismo as an educator, tayo po dapat ay familiar or we can utilize such technology, no? And then also what we have here, the benefits of flipped classroom naman po. It increase student engagement. So class time is used for active learning, not just lecture. So when you say active learning po, yun nga po, no, ang mga bata po is binibigyan natin sila ng chance na matutunan po yung isang lesson or isang topic ng sila muna. Then after that, after na magawa nila to, is we will discuss to them. Or pag-uusapan natin as a teacher yung kanilang mga ginawa. So next is personalized learning. Student can learn at their own pace outside of the class. So minsan nasa bahay lang is nagagawa nilang matuto. Deeper deeper understanding in class activities allow for application and clarification of concept, enhance teacher-student interaction. So teacher can provide more individualized support for the student. Then lastly, we have improved independent learning skill. So student can take greater responsibility for their learning. So it means na ang mga bata po ay natututo sila sa kanilang mga ginagawa ng sila lang and then the teacher is the guide on the side. So next one is another use of technology po is learning management system or the LMS. So I think when you say learning management system po is ito po ay sistema po na kung saan ginagamit siya sa eskwelahan. Kunyari sa ating pagtuturo, sa pagbabayad ng tuition for example, sa pagdidistribute ng information and many more. So when we say learning management system po, uh, unlike the traditional way of managing a school, ito naman pong LMS ay lahat po ay online na or I mean by the aid of technology. So ito po yung LMS. So LMS or Learning Management System is essentially a software application designed to streamline and manage the delivery of educational content. Not just educational content but also nagagamit natin ito sa school operation sa mga nasa management side po. It serves as a centralized online platform where educators can create, distribute, and track learning materials while learners can access those resources and engage in various educational activities. So ito po no yung mga example po ng LMS or Learning Management System. LMS platform facilitate the administration, documentation and tracking, reporting and delivery of educational course and training program. They provide tools for creating and organizing course content, managing student enrollment, tracking learners' progress. So, ito po mga software na ito is very, na-utilize din siya especially nung pandemics. For example, yung Google Classroom, no? The Moodle, the Canvas, and then the Blackboard. On our case po, dito sa atin sa World City is we use the Orange apps na kung saan the teacher or the educator can assign activity, yun, like for example, PETA or performance tasks, mga written works, the quarterly exam, na kung saan malaking bagay po, syempre, unang-una, lesson yung paggamit ng mga papel or paggamit ng mga physical examination sheet. Okay? So, dito po, online po nag-exam ang mga bata by using their smartphone or tablet. So, very accessible po siya. Okay? And then also the teacher can conduct online class here sa mga software na ito or LMS software na to. Na kung saan yun nga lang po ang threat dito or ang pinaka-negative side dito is yun nga yung availability ng availability po ng mga gadgets for the students or for example the strength of the internet. So yun po yung nakikita nating balakid po dito sa ating mga software or I mean learning management system na to. But overall, malaking bagay po ito especially sa mga teachers like us and then the students na kung saan we can perform yun nga yung online class or online learning at madideliver natin ang ating mga lesson via online. So ito po yung features and benefits of LMS ano. So course content management, we assignment submission and grading, discussion forum and communication tools, quizzes and assessment. So pwede natin siyang gawin sa LMS na to. Progress tracking and analytics, centralized learning platform, improve organization and communication with the students and the stakeholders. Sa amin po sa World City or sa atin po, no? Yung may parent na ano po, no? I mean, ang parent po is they can track the or they can track the yung status ng anak nila when it comes to sa pag-aaral. Kasi po may parent portal po sa ating Orange Apps na kung saan mamomonitor ni parent yung grade ng anak niya, kung ano bang ginagawa sa ano sa kanya or sa eskwelahan ng anak niya. Okay, improve organization and communication, streamlined assessment and feedback, enhance student engagement, collaboration, and then data-driven teaching. So, yun po ang LMS na malaking bagay po for us, no? Then, paano po ba natin may or paano po ba ini-integrate ang technology o paano po ba tayo mag-transition to technology? So, number one po rito, is to start with clear learning objective. Number two is provide adequate training and support. So, kailangan po, no, isa po sa mga negative side po nitong pagpasok ng teknolohiya is paano naman daw po yung mga hindi po techy ng mga teacher. Siyempre po bilang teacher, kailangan natin sumabay sa trends ng technology. Kasi po, nagbabago po ang panahon, nagbabago po ang way of delivery of teaching natin. So, kailangan po sa mga administrator po ng school or I mean sa mga ano po, dapat po they provide the teacher a training or a support training for them to ano po na makapag-transition po from traditional teaching to yon yung pagtuturo na may aid po ng technology. Then choose tool that align with curriculum goal. Kailangan po is yan, encourage collaboration and peer learning. Continuously sorry for ano continuously evaluate and adapt, and then lastly, ensure equitable access to technology. So as we have said, ang teknolohiya po is hindi natin siya pwedeng takasan. Kumbaga ito na po ang trends ng ating edukasyon ngayon. So bilang teacher, bilang educator po, kailangan tayo po mismo ay one step ahead sa mga ating estudyante. So we must know or kailangan po familiar tayo when it comes to utilizing this form of or this ano po, changes in technology when it comes to teaching. So yun lang po. Thank you po students for your sa inyong pakikinig. Thank you po. Doc, okay na po.
Okay, so thank you so much to our presenter, no. Again, as what I have mentioned earlier, no, technology integration in teaching refers to the effective use of digital tools, platforms, and resources to enhance the learning process, no. Again, it involves incorporating technology into traditional teaching methodologies, no, to create interactive, engaging, and personalized learning experiences. Though with the rapid advancement in educational technology, teachers are continuously exploring new ways in integrate digital tools into their classroom, making lesson more dynamic and accessible, as our presenter mentioned. Uh, sabi nga ni Sir kanina, no, technology plays an important role at wala na tayong magagawa rito, no, in modern education by fostering collaboration, creativity, and critical thinking among students. Because interactive whiteboards, no, educational apps, no, virtual simulations, and online resources provide diverse learning opportunities that or cater the different learning styles. Moreover, no, digital platforms allow students to engage in self-paced learning, enabling them to revisit lesson and grasp concept at their own speed. No? Sabi nga ni Sir kanina, hindi na dati na spoon feed. No? So right now, kailangan we give them chance, freedom, no, to learn the way on how they yung lessons. Okay. Now, one of the key benefits of technology integration is increased student engagement. Because doon, of course, during our time, no, traditional lecture-based teaching methods often struggle, no, to capture student attention, especially in the digital age. Now, however, the use of multimedia elements as videos, animations, and gamified learning encourages active participation and makes lesson more compelling. No? Tools like Kahoot, no, quizzes, Google Classroom promote interactive learning experiences that keep our students motivated. We as teacher play an important role, no, in ensuring the successful integration of technology in education because we must be well versed, no, in using digital tools and adapting our teaching strategies to incorporate them effectively. No, professional development programs, workshop, and online training can help us as educators enhance our technological literacy. No, additionally, teachers must be able to assess which technologies best align with their subject matter and student needs. No, so despite its advantages, I mean, integrating technology into teaching comes with challenges, no? Limited access to digital devices for internet connectivity and the lack of technical training for teachers can hinder the adoption of technology in classroom. Pero I think sa private, di naman natin major concern to, ano? Because additionally, no, some educators face resistance to change due to fear or of relying too much on technology or losing the essence of traditional teaching. Sabi ni Sir kanina, bias, mga matatanda daw. Aray? No? Because addressing the barriers requires institutional support, no? Government investment, and continuous teacher learning. One of the greatest strengths of technology in education is its ability to promote inclusivity. No? Assistive technologies such as screen readers, speech-to-text applications, and adaptive learning software provide support to students with disabilities. Now, online learning platforms also make education more accessible, no, to remote learners, ensuring that our students from various backgrounds have equal opportunities to learn. Now, the future of education will likely be shaped, no, by emerging technologies right now, such as artificial intelligence, no, virtual reality, and augmented reality at the same time. Because I believe, no, AI-powered tutoring system, no, immersive virtual room, virtual VR classroom, or virtual room classroom, and personalized learning algorithms will possibly redefine, no, the teaching and learning experiences. Educators and policymakers must embrace these innovations, no, while ensuring the ethical consideration and data privacy concerns are addressed. No? So, again, in the Philippines, no, technology integration in education has become a key priority, especially with the rapid digital transformation brought about by the COVID-19 pandemic. Schools and universities have increasingly adopted online learning platforms, no? Digital resources, and interactive learning tools to enhance student engagement and improve learning outcomes. The Department of Education and the Commission on Higher Education and TESDA have both implemented initiatives to support the use of technology in classroom, right? Including the provision of learning management system, digital modules, and teacher training programs. However, the integration of technology in the Philippines education faces significant challenges. No? Many public schools still lack the necessary infrastructure such as stable internet connectivity, modern devices, and adequate technical support. So, kaka-resign nga lang na ating DICT secretary, right? No? So, the digital divide, no, remains a pressing issues, no, with students from low-income families struggling to access on online learning materials. Moreover, some teachers have limited digital literacy, no, making it difficult for them to maximize the use of educational technology. But despite these hurdles, no, various initiatives have been launched to bridge the gap. No? Programs such as DepEd Digital Rise Program, kung aware po tayo, aim to equip schools with ICT tools and promote digital literacy among teachers and the students. Private sector partnership, non-government organizations, and international donors have also contributed to improving digital education in underserved areas. So the increasing adoption of blended learning, a mix face-to-face and no, in making education more flexible and accessible. Schools are incorporating digital platforms such as Google Classroom, Microsoft Teams, and DepEd Commons to facilitate learning. No, additionally, the rise of localized educational apps and digital learning resources tailored to the Philippine curriculum has further suggested technology integration. Looking ahead, the success of technology integration in the Philippines will depend on sustained government investment, continuous teacher training, and infrastructure development. So through addressing these challenges and leveraging digital innovation, the country can create a more inclusive and technology-driven education system that prepares our student of the demands of the digital age. Okay, so I think that's it for this topic. Thank you so much to our presenter and good morning, everyone.